Mitch Ace Coach 704 here. Didn't really broadcast it because not really prepared to answer any questions or anything, but if you do just happen to jump on, I'll answer some. This is this week's PEL Storylines, and this week's Storylines, we do have a few blogs that were done this week, but I don't have anything compelling to say based on what I read, so I figure I'm going to let Madden kind of control the storylines this week since we have a league news Twitter thing, and it does keep up with things going on in the league, and we really don't use it too much. Like I said, I just kind of put it up for when I'm doing the live show sometimes just to have content on the screen when I'm talking about something else. So we're going to go through some of these tiles, and I'll give you some commentary on, what Madden is talking about. Then after that, we're going to go into the playoff chase and kind of break down, how the playoffs are shaping up in both conferences. And then just as a preview on the live show on Tuesday, I'm going to do an incentives check-in. Remember, before the season, we talked about league incentives, and, if you hit certain benchmarks, you'll get incentives. So I'll go over where everybody is on the league incentive check-in. We'll do a recap from the last week's games and then games that have been played as of that week on the live show Tuesday. We'll go through the league stat leaders and then team stats. I'll give you my analysis on both of those. We'll break down the awards race and for all yearly awards like we do periodically. And then for the first time this year, we're going to take a look at first round picks, and I'll kind of share some of the best first round picks that I've scouted, at least so far. And I haven't scouted all the positions, but I've scouted a few, and we don't mind sharing first round picks because everyone scouts first round picks. All right, so let's jump into what Madden's talking about here. And big thing I see on this first tile is Ryan Shazier near the NFL record for most interceptions in a season. No surprise there. You know how the Steelers is. Shazier is a great linebacker, and him being near the interceptions record is pretty much something that happens every season. That Browns game, they lost. They played the Steelers. That was a big game in the AFC North. They lost that 24-10. And I think there was a comment in the chat that, the Browns are probably tired of the Steelers. Yeah, I'd probably say so too. Those guys have been beating up on each other for a while. Let's see. Bills. Yeah, that was a tight game we played with the Patriots earlier today. We pulled that out 26-21. It was not easy. The Patriots were on fire in the first half, and they caught every contested pass that you could think of. And Madden was really trying to screw us. They ran a jailbreak screen with their rookie receiver, and he broke like 3 tackles and took it to the house, and I'm just sitting here like, what is going on? But second half, we shut them out, made some adjustments, and then offensively we were able to do enough. McKinnon got back on the field. He had been hurt and had a big game. And we're trying to re-sign him or Bernard, and both of them want too much money to be 27, so at least one of them would be free agents, maybe 2 of them. But anyways, we were able to get that done and stay undefeated, like it says, for now. Soon enough, we're going to lose. I got the Dolphins, I got the Chargers in the next 2 games, so there's going to probably be one of them to knock it off. 49ers, C.J. Beathard gets the job done, 3 touchdowns in the win over the Panthers. Yeah, he's been playing really well, and Levi's doing a good job developing him. And then controlling the NFC West division race. Next tile over. Dak Prescott continues to disappoint. I don't know why he's so bad in Madden. It doesn't make any sense, but he's pretty terrible. Melvin Gordon, of course, with the Chargers, ran away with the win. No surprise there. We all know how good Deontay is in the run game. And I'm trying to they beat the Raiders 43-0. Unfortunately, it's not a surprise there, as we know Jerome is a POF hoe, and it's more focused on trying to nail different women. I see Stephania Bell's talking about Ryan Tannehill's last TD strike. The Dolphins, did they win? Yep, they beat the Bengals 34-10. So they're getting back on track there. They had a couple tough games, but they're still a dangerous team. Of course, Heath Evans talking about Jerick McKinnon's performance. He had, I think, about 160 yards on the ground. And then we see, oh, there it is, 158. It was looking right at me. And then now we see Dak Prescott had 4 interceptions against the Eagles, and the Eagles won that game 35-0. So a couple shutouts this week. We had a lot of tight games the week before, but this week it seems like we're starting to get into blowouts for the most part. Let's jump to the next tile. And they're talking junk about Dallas again. Dolphins should have thrown it more to Landry. Yeah, Landry's their number 1 receiver, and he's tough to stop, man. He is a definite number 1 guy. He's gonna milk him if you can't cover him. I know that firsthand. We see Melvin Gordon had 198 rushing yards. That's pretty much standard for Deontay with him. And Tannehill had 3 touchdowns. Broncos making some moves. The Broncos cut their good young quarterback not too long ago, and they've gone with Paxton Lynch. And I thought it was crazy, but Paxton Lynch actually won them the next game, but then he lost. So I don't know. A lot of moves going on in Denver, and a lot of interesting things taking place. So we'll see how they end up here. The next tile. The Panthers had a number 4 ranked defense. How the hell is that possible? Well, anyways, they gave up 45 points to the 49ers, so I think that ranking's going to drop a little bit. Jets, Redskins, we would like to welcome our new Redskins user, Xavier. I don't know if that's his name or not. That's part of his PSN. Well, I'm going to call him Xavier. I did look at him a little bit. He's been in some really good sim leagues, so I think he'll be an asset once he's able to get his feet under him and start playing some games. So we're glad to have you. Thank you for reaching out. As far as I know, this was not a referral, so there's no referral bonus on that one. If he is, please let me know so I can keep that in mind and keep track of that, because the referral bonus was the development upgrade at the end of the season. So if you did refer him, please let me know. If you didn't, then whenever we have another opening, we'll open up the referral bonus again. And hopefully we won't have one for a while. We've been pretty stable here. We've had one here, one there drop off for different reasons. The last Redskins guy left because he got a promotion at work, and I know how that is. When you get a promotion, it's a lot more on you, and you got to focus more on your job, and you can't really have too much fun. So Madden kind of goes away. You got to keep perspective. So, and he was really good. He did a lot of blogs and he was active, so we hated to lose him. But I had people tell me he left all his leagues, so I feel that's pretty legit. All right, let's jump back to the news here. We got some moves here. Stephon Gilmore moving to strong safety. I thought he did a good job at corner today against Collier, my speed guy. I don't know why he's doing that. Might be making some defensive changes though, but we'll see. Let's see what else we got here. Not too much there, just kind of general talk. Let's keep on going. Yep, there's Landry, 3 touchdown catches. That's pretty impressive. No surprise. Good Lord, 57-14. I thought they said that the Packers had a good defense. Wow. Chiefs are a track team though, so it's not too much of a surprise to be honest with you. Torn on who to pick for Ravens Colts. I'll tell you, I'd go with the Ravens. He's a really good player. Colts, they do have that unique defense, so we'll see if they can figure that out and adjust to it. But that'll be a good game to watch. Let's see here. Now I realize why I don't use this much. It repeats a lot of same information. Buccaneers ranked number 31 offensively. Well, that would be why they only have 1 win, and that's a sim win. They got to get some more help down there in Tampa Bay for sure. There's some draft stuff. Let's look at that. Some draft stories here. Danton Walker. I need to scout him. I don't think I've scouted him. That name doesn't look familiar. Ruptured pectoral. Don't draft that guy. Linebacker Blair Jagiri, record with 4 sacks. Yeah, keep an eye on him. I always try to pick guys with stories. It's always cool to hear that kind of thing going on. Alright, so let's jump out of there. That's 10 minutes of storylines that repeated itself. Let's take a look at the playoff breakdown in both conferences here. All right, we'll start with the NFC. All right, you got your Lions at 9-1, Niners 9-2. Right now would be the top 2 seeds. Then after that, we got a mix of teams here. Cardinals, Seahawks, Eagles, Packers, Panthers, Falcons, Giants, Vikings, I think are all in contention. So let's break it down by divisions. Starting with the North, Lions at 9-1. I think they're going to win the division going away. Packers at 7-4 got blasted today by the Chiefs, but they're benefiting by the Vikings not being as active. I talked to him today. He's out of town. He'll be back Monday, but I know he's missed some games this year, and it's hurt his record, as you can see. So if the Packers can find a way to shore up some defensive issues and hang in there, they're going to be in it, at least in the wild card chase. I think the division definitely belongs to the Lions, though. NFC South, we got the Panthers at 6-5, Falcons at 6-5, 3-7 Saints, 1-9 Bucks. 2-team race like we talked about before. Panthers got blasted pretty good by the 49ers, but this NFC South, like I said, it's going to come down to Week 17 between these two teams here. I still like Jeff. He's lost 2 in a row. The talent the Falcons have is insane. They should win the division, but the Panthers are so wishy-washy. I don't know what you're gonna get from week 1 to the next week. You don't know what it's gonna be. So we'll see what happens coming down the stretch. NFC East, Eagles taking charge at 8-3. Giants will get a forced win this week, go to 6-5. Skins are gonna play the Jets. They pretty much have to win out to stay in it. But at 10-6, if this guy is a really good player, I think in the NFC he can make a run. Maybe 9-7 if teams beat up on each other. So I don't think they're out of it, but they definitely got some work to do. And Cowboys are preparing for the draft. Giants at 6-5. Can they catch the Eagles? I don't think so. Not this year. I don't see it this year. I think the Eagles are too good overall with a 2-game buffer. I think that's enough at this point to take the division home and make the playoffs. We'll see if the Giants and the Redskins can make a run at the wild card, though. The NFC West, we got the Niners at 9-2, Cards 7-3, Seahawks 8-3, and the Rams 2-8. Looks like either the Cardinals have a bye week or they hadn't played yet this week, but the Seahawks a game behind the 49ers, and then the Cardinals, of course, are still in it. All 3 of these teams could make the playoffs based off of what we're looking at across the other divisions. Once we take a look at it, the picture fully, we've got the Lions at the NFC North winner, 49ers as the NFC West winner, the Eagles as the NFC East winner, and we'll project the Falcons as the NFC South winner. So then your 2 wild card teams would be the Seahawks at 8-3, and then the Cardinals at 7-3, Packers at 7-4, Panthers 6-5, Giants 5-5, Vikings 5-5, Redskins 4-6 are all in the mix for that second wild card spot. So if I mention any of those teams right there, I think you have a realistic shot at making the playoffs still in the NFC. All right, let's jump over to the AFC. We got the Bills at 11-0, Steelers 10-1, Jags 8-2, Chiefs 9-2, Browns 7-4, Jets 6-4, Chargers 7-4, Dolphins 6-5, Colts 5-5. I think all still have realistic hopes of making the playoffs. All right, let's look at the division breakdown. AFC North, Steelers at 10-1. Of course, they're on track to have the number 2 seed and a bye right now in the AFC. Browns at 7-4, I think are still definitely in the wild card chase. Ravens and Bengals, both good players, can play spoiler coming down the stretch. But like I said, 2-team race here. The Steelers beating the Browns today really helps their chances at winning the AFC North, and then the Browns are still in wild card contention with them. AFC South, Jags 8-2, Colts 5-5, Titans 4-6, and then the Texans 2-8. Texans are preparing for next year, making moves already. And they cut J.J. Watt, which saved money, but when you're rebuilding, I guess a 30-year-old J.J. Watt in your plans for whatever reason. So whatever. He's in Dallas now, by the way. Titans at 4-6. Oh man, they're gonna have to win out to have a shot. This AFC is ridiculous. Colts 5-5. Probably they can maybe afford one more loss, but they got to start winning. This is the Jags division to lose. I think they're gonna win it. 3-game lead at this point is pretty strong. AFC East, we got the Bills at 11-0, Jets 6-4, Dolphins 6-5, and the Patriots the best 1-9-1 team in PEL history. I made a statement earlier they lost 6 games by a touchdown or less, so they are very, very good, and a tough team to play. But we got the Dolphins here at 6-5, Jets 6-4, both in the wild card chase. I think I have a big enough lead to hold them off. Those guys can get hot, and we had a really tough game with the Jets earlier this year. Then I've got the Dolphins next week, who I know are hungry to end our streak of dominance. I've had Madden try to screw me the last couple of weeks, so now I'm sure it will end sooner than later. With the Dolphins and then Deontay after that. It's enough to make my hair go gray and cause multiple stress and profanity-laced tirades. Anyways, let's jump to the AFC West. We got the Chiefs at 9-2, Chargers 7-4, Raiders 3-8, Broncos 2-8. Raiders and Broncos preparing for next season. Chargers definitely in the wild card race, and really the division race, because I was reading the Chiefs blog earlier and they've got 2 matchups left. So if the Chargers sweep those, they can have a tie, and then they'll have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So we'll see what happens in those 2 games to help determine who wins this division. But right now the Chiefs sit in the catbird seat, so to speak. All right, so looking at the whole conference, Bills right now have the number 1 seed, Steelers number 2 seed, Jags number 3 seed, and the Chiefs be the number 4 seed. So that's the West champion, South champion, North champion, and East champion. Wild card looks, what a mess. The Jets have yet to play this week. They play the Redskins in a big game. Browns at 7-4, Chargers 7-4 right now would be the 2 wild card teams. Behind them, you got the Jets, Dolphins, and Colts, I think, are still in the chase. But, this AFC is really tough. Those guys have made the Super Bowl and won Super Bowls at the wild card position. And then these guys here have been perennial winners so far in Madden 18. So it'll be a really, really fun playoffs to watch. Not to play in. And any one of those 6 teams currently in the playoffs have the ability to get hot and run the table and get to the Super Bowl. All right. Well, about 19 minutes. I'll have 1 more minute left to talk if anyone does have any questions. I only got 2 people on. I didn't promote it, like I said. We'll look at some games that have been played this week. Kind of looking through those. Dolphins with a big win over the Bengals. Bengals rebuilding right now. There's our game with the Patriots, 26-21. We were able to pull that out in the 4th quarter. Good second half effort. And we see the Seahawks beat the Falcons 20-10. That's a big win in the NFC standings in the playoff race. There's that Chiefs big win over the Packers, 57-14. Big win by the Steelers over those rival Browns, 24-10. There's the blowouts here. Eagles over the Cowboys, Chargers over the Raiders, and 49ers over the Panthers. So now advance is tomorrow, so we'll be hitting people up in the morning to see what the status of their games are. Bears are out of town, and then Vikings come back tomorrow evening. That's why those 2 are forces right there. Rams, Cardinals, hadn't heard anything. I know they tried to schedule Redskins, Jets. Like they tried to play Saints, Jaguars. Not sure what happened there. Broncos Titans hadn't heard anything. Ravens Colts hadn't heard anything. And of course, as usual, Blake being quiet and the last game. Right. All right. So that's this week's PEL storylines. Next week we'll get back and pull from the blogs, and we'll talk about what's going on with these teams inside the locker rooms. And we got the live show coming up Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there at B Square. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.